Good evening, Ralph Stefanelli here. A Nortonite for 51 years. My family's lived here. We own our house. We've seen a lot happen in the town of Norton. Its growth, its placement on the map, winning teams, winning sports teams, a nice place to live with Wheaton College. It's just a nice town, Norton, Massachusetts. But all of a sudden, we're faced with the same problems that are happening across the state. Nobody's got any money. Hyperinflation has ruled the day. Eggs, lettuce, bread, milk, your insurance programs, your credit cards, through the roof. Hyperinflation. Did you get a raise? No, you didn't get a raise. If anything, your hours were cut. What did that do to your budget? Where are you going to get the money to pay all your bills? Not going to happen. So it's more important that you think about, it's not about winning the argument, it's about solving the problem. And that problem is called point, counterpoint. Some of the people in Norton want to have an override. We've never passed an override. We've passed a debt exclusion, which is going to be tacked on. And when I get to the end and tell you what your new bills are going to be, they're not my numbers. They're from the state of Massachusetts numbers. They're from the town auditing department. So let's get right into it. My total focus is on Norton and this 2.5 override, of which I'm against. So I'm voting no. You need to know that. So the question is, are we here to focus on where the hell all our money is going, or are you just going to let it fly out the window? You're going to walk around with your head down and kicking the dirt in front of you, or your dog when you get home from work, if you're not working at home. Something to think about. Where the hell are we spending all of this money? So how did we get to where we're at? At town meeting, we approved, the people of Norton, the taxpayers of Norton, over 700 of them, approved a $1 million budget increase to the school department. It came out to 6.6%. No fuzzy math, just the right math, because we checked it out with the state and we checked it out with Norton's accountant. And at that meeting, they brought together the FinCom, the school department, and the select board. And in the process of doing that, there was no discussion, no debate. Someone turned around and said, hey, I think we should increase and have an override for $3,100,000. And then somebody spoke up on the FinCom and said, well, let's make it 3.5 million. And all of a sudden there's two balloons up in the air, no discussion, no debate, no decisions. And then someone said, well, what if we need an override again in the future? So let's put 2 overrides. Let's make it a combination, give you a multiple choice. So someone said 5.7 million, and then someone said 6.9 million, and then someone said 6.5 million. So here's how it went down. The room was packed. The teachers were there. They were out in force. So when they said 4 million, the chair said second, and someone seconded it, 4 million. There was a pause, and someone said, well, what about the second one, the multiple choice one? Someone said, well, 6.5 sounds like a good number. Seconded, quick hammer. No discussion, no debate, no freeze, no salary discussions, no new hire discussions, nothing. Is that the way to run a $51 million company? They should all be fired, in my opinion. Some of them are good, keep them. The rest, get rid of them. Because they don't have you in mind. When their kids leave school and graduate, they're out of here. They're in Florida, they're going to Texas. You think they're going to stay here in Massachusetts? No way. So that's what you're faced with. And it's something to really give some thought. And when you receive this so-called mailer from the other side, the yes people, read that fine print, study it, because it says nothing. And it means nothing. It's a lot of money they're asking for. You better hang on to your wallet, because it's going to be emptied. That's all I'm sharing with you. Because this override, if it passes, 4 million or 6.5 million, you better be worried about your property taxes, because they're going up. And I have the numbers that I'm going to give you in a little while, a very short period of time. Be thinking about the fact that they want your home. And when they get your home, they're going to own a second property and they're going to rent it out. And you're going to be on the streets or on your way to Texas or Florida or Colorado, doesn't matter. But you're going to leave Massachusetts like they're leaving as I speak, in droves. Not my word, the state's word. Not a nice place to live anymore. It's very costly. I have here a Vote Yes mailer. That's one side, and that's the second side. Do you remember earlier I said to you, read the fine print? It's like any contract. If you don't read it and you go along with it, you lose. Because they give you no information. It's all foxy-loxy, the sky's falling. And they say it 3 or 4 times. And in here are some fibs. I have a stronger word, but it would be improper as a professional to say those words. They're not swear words. They're untruthful. And they're in here, but you can't read it. It's in reverse printing. And you remember the old joke? When the insurance company turned you down when you put the claim in, you didn't read the small print? That's how big the print is, just like an insurance policy. And you're supposed to be able to make a decision to spend $4 million of hard-earned money on an override, or $6.5 million, and the numbers are going to be given to you very shortly, but you better read that fine print. And you better challenge the people who made these, because there's falsehoods in here. You shouldn't be voting yes if you don't understand it. It's not about winning the argument. It's about solving the problem that's before us. And it's on every taxpayer's lips. And because it's on their lips, it's because their wallet is empty. Hyperinflation. We haven't seen this kind of inflation in 20 years, since before 2020. Homes have doubled in the mortgage rates. And when I said to you earlier, it's the home that you live in that they want. That's why they went for the override, because the young people moving in and around can't find starter homes anymore. It's very difficult when you don't have any money. It's very difficult when you've been told to live within your means and you haven't listened to anybody and you went off the rail. Now you're paying the price. And you could lose your home. You're very aware of where people stand in the state of Massachusetts, Taxachusetts. There's not enough homes, and that's what they want. So we don't know if it's a scheme on the politicians' part, but it's here, and it's scary. So pay attention, because I'm sharing with you what I found from the the National Realty Association. There are not enough homes for sale. And the only way that they can build that inventory up is to get you the hell out. And that's their goal. You know, it's beyond strong economic data. Americans are struggling to get by. Nortonites, people who live in Norton, faced with an override of $4 million, or a multiple choice, I can pick 6.5 when we already gave you $1 million, and you muddied up the waters with that. Foxy Loxy, the sky's falling. The sky is not falling. It's time to fix your budget, because these times are not going to get better. And that's why we say you could lose your home. Do you have a money tree in your backyard? Can you go outside right now and shake it and money will come down and you're off the hook? No. So what can you do to solve the problem? I happen to have here a copy of the ballot, just the way it appears. And it's important that you know you can stop this override, just like that, by filling in an X or filling that box full of ink that says no. And that's how it reads. $4 million, do you accept a $4 million override? And there's yes or no. Fill in no. Make them live by their budget that they've been given. There's no extra money. And the second one is 6.5 million. The same question, yes or no. But you have to fill them both in. And it's important I say that again. You must say no and fill in the box on one, and then second one right underneath it, there it is, you can see it. I'm gonna hide my face, you can see it. No on the second one. So let's conclude. If you need a piece of paper and a pen to write the numbers down, here they are. I'm going to go quick, but here. What we have already done. On May 28th, the town meeting passed a balanced budget for fiscal year 2025 of $51,371,987. That's an increase of 6.6. That's the budget that will be sent when this override is defeated at the polls, because it's a special election. So now you and I have been asked, the people of Norton, the property taxpayers, you've been asked to supplement this increase by voting on 1, a $4 million budget, which means it will increase the town's budget to $55,371,987, or a percentage of 14.32% on your property taxes. That's the $4 million one. That's the one I'm asking you, and the people are asking you to vote no. The second one to vote no on is right next to it. I showed you the ballot. It's right next to it. One and then the other one. And that is question 2, or 1B, your taxes, that's the $6.5 million budget, if it's approved, will represent $57,871,987, or 19.48% increase on your property taxes. Now think about that. If both 1 and 2 pass by a majority vote, your increase will be 19.48 increase, and it will prevail over the 14.32. Now that's not confusing, but more importantly, you need to know that the town did something that was a little bit off color in my view and in my opinion, but I have the fact checks. They received 2 pandemic grants under the acronym of ESSER, E-S-S-E-R, and the CARES Act for a total of $3,700,000. Now, I'm going to go slow because these 2 sentences are very important. Knowing that these one-time grants would not be replenished, the town used these grants to hire additional personnel. They used the grants and they didn't have the right to do it. And by doing that, we're now laying off people who should not have been hired. I wonder if that's the reason they didn't bring it up at an open meeting. Just something to hit your head on the pillow with and see if you can go to sleep, knowing that you could have been and were hoodwinked. The town's going through a reassessment of property values this year. How much will your home increase in value? Because if that happens, your taxes go up. And you need to know something else very important, that the student enrollment for the Norton school system has declined for the past 10 years, while the costs have skyrocketed. And more importantly, our tax rate is $14.69. It's higher than Easton. It's higher than Mansfield. It's higher than Foxborough, North Attleboro, and East Bridgewater. So don't hand us the issue that we're not in line with the other towns. We're higher than them on the tax. Now, here's the conclusion. We have a debt exclusion on the Norton High School renovations of $13 million, the town hall, the community center, and the athletics fields, $41 million. At the same time that your taxes are going up, the debt exclusion has to be paid in that year, which is 2025. And that's a $57 million battle with interest. So you need to know that your wallet is going to be emptied. And don't ever forget, you live in Massachusetts. I want to thank you very much for listening. And don't forget to vote on July 13th. It's a Saturday, or you can stop into Town Hall and pick up a ballot. I want to thank you for letting me share with you, and God bless.